So, I see a bunch of stuff that I just feel like I don't know if people are seeing this. So, this is kind of just a bunch of things that I came across today that are pretty insane. It's going to cover a pretty wide variety of topics. We're going to start with the housing crisis. So, there's $100,000 tiny homes with no garages being built in San Antonio, Texas. Um, Part of what is driving the home prices up is you have BlackRock has turned their investment AI Aladdin onto the housing market, and in some cases, people selling their homes are reporting getting an offer over ask, sight unseen, which likely comes from an investment bank that doesn't really care. It's a long-term investment. It doesn't really, the purchase price, the point of entry to them matters a lot less to them than someone who is buying for, the next 10 or 20 years. Um, they intend to buy and hold, and these residential properties will never be again sold to a private person in the U.S. You will only be able to rent them. And over the long term, no more land is being made, so they know it's a good investment, and this is why their entry point doesn't really matter. They're going to buy it, they're going to hold it, and in 100 years, it's going to be 10x or more. I mean, the housing market, as population growth occurs, as more people come to America, if they want to come to America, then you're going to have an increase in demand, and supply is not going to increase meaningfully. So let's start going through this stuff.
You've got to be. That's $100,000, right? Are you telling me that these things are $100,000? What the kidding me? You've got to be kidding me. That's 100.
So they just look like trailers. I mean, and you got no room, no yard. It's basically a trailer park. That it costs $100,000 to live in, and that's cheap. That's affordable nowadays for a little tiny piece of junk like that. Next up, we've got this is going to be a test run. This is in Whole Foods at Washington, D.C. We'll watch the video first.
Very controversial new Whole Foods in Washington, D.C. You have to scan to check in. You have to scan to check out. You have to scan to leave the checkout. And then you have to scan to leave the store.
That's cool.
So, I mean, this is already being done in China. You have unmanned stores where you basically just go in and scan and grab whatever you want. The camera scans and you just walk out. It's all automated. The thing is that as you eliminate jobs, if this is rolled out in scale, let's say, we've already got self-checkouts, but let's say that you roll out on a wide scale. Are they still going to have people in the store to help you find things? Are they still going to have people actually working there? Not only that, what is the plan for the transition as people lose their jobs? How are we going to make money in order to buy groceries at an automated store like this? What if you currently work at a place like this? If you are a customer-facing representative for some sort of retail business, and you get replaced by cameras and AI, how are you going to afford to buy anything? How is the economy still going to function? The rich are going to get way richer because they don't have to pay payroll, and then the poor are going to get left behind and ignored and be unemployed and destitute potentially. So before you adopt this and think this is great, I encourage you to think through the whole picture, because a lot of people's jobs are at stake, and if we adopt this, if we just go along with it, like if they did this, I'd just never go back to this store ever. And if everyone was like me, this store would be a ghost town, and it's really great that it's automated, but no one would ever go in it. If you don't want the future to be robotic and for you to be replaced, then don't frequent stores that are trying to replace you with AI and robots and all the things that are coming. Unless they can give us a clear roadmap as to how this is not going to, come around and bite us in the ass, you don't want to fall into this system and think, oh, this is great. Oh man, so good. I just get to scan my little bracelet and I'm good to go. Terrible idea. Oh, and this is a perfect illustration of a double standard. There needs to be tolerance in one direction, but look at how intolerant this person is toward your beliefs. Everybody's got the right to do whatever they want. I'm not telling this person that they need to do anything. I'm just saying it's ridiculous that they're speaking to other people in the world and telling them that they're bad people for just being themselves.
If you're cis and you won't date trans folks, you're a transphobe. Now if that made you mad, maybe it's your prejudices that you need to probe. No matter the reasons you've got, you're reducing us to when we disrobe. And that kind of thinking ain't sophisticated, it's more like microbes. I know you think you've got good reasons, maybe you do. Trauma's real, it's hard to heal, I'd never say that that isn't true. But transphobia is transphobia, and you won't get a pass when we're through. We're human beings, not sex organs, cis lesbians, I'm talking to you.
I mean, they're just insulting everybody, right? I mean, I'm fine with this person having the freedom to live their life, but don't come and impose upon me that your beliefs make me into an ignorant person. I'm allowed to have preferences. You're allowed to have preferences, both on how I want to exist in my physical space, my body, and also how I want to engage with others. And it doesn't make me phobic of anybody if I have preferences. If I like people that are active, it doesn't make me phobic of people that like to go drinking and go to the bar. It just means that that's not my interest. It's not my thing. And if sexuality and gender are not a choice, then don't criticize my sexuality. I can't help what I'm attracted to and what I find attractive. This is how I was born, and telling me that I need to change myself is just as ignorant as me saying that you need to change yourself because you're doing what you want to do. I'm not going to do that. This is a free country. Don't mess with the kids. Don't mess with me. Do your thing. How hard is that? It's not hard. It's really easy. But some people don't think it through, and then call other people ignorance. Absolutely, the highest level of gaslighting. Okay, now we're moving into Hawaii, and there's some stuff going on online. I'm going to let the video speak for itself. This is a resident and an interview that was conducted on August 14th, 2023 in Maui with this gentleman and this woman.
Realtors, people in the real estate industry are calling your family and your friends who have lost everything to buy their plots of land.
It is disgusting. We have real estate investors and speculators going around calling our victims, offering to give them cash and buy their property. It is disgusting. It's a land grab, and I know that our Lahaina community, we are resilient, and we will do whatever it takes to protect Lahaina.
And that's one of the big concerns as they search for the missing and the dead, is that Lahaina doesn't lose its spirit, right? That people from the outside don't come and rebuild and turn it into a tourist mecca.
We've already been displaced enough, and we plan to have a seat at the table in rebuilding Lahaina and ensuring that the rich cultural history of Lahaina is protected and that the multi-generational families get to come back home.
So I played another video the other day. They want people to be aware of the situation. This is an island. Not a lot of eyes are on this. A lot of bad things can happen when not many people are looking. You've got whether or not that. Let's not even talk about the cause, how the fire happened, any of the way that the crisis unfolded. I know they've got limited resources. It is an island, so that's a separate discussion. The reality is that whether or not it was accidental or anything else, it is. People are attempting to capitalize on a crisis. People are trying to capitalize on people who might be desperate or tempted to give up. They've been standing strong. They've had their plot of land for probably forever, and they don't want to give it up. They would never give it up, but under the circumstances, I've seen some stuff where insurance companies are saying that there's zoning issues about repayment and rebuilding, unless you have a lot of money to rehab the land because there's some issues with zoning or the soil or something. again, I'm not going to get in the weeds here. I'm just saying, let's pay attention. We can't rewind the clock. We can't undo evil. We can't undo land theft. So it's important that we watch and see how this unfolds so that we don't have regrets. And 20 years from now, we look back and say, man, that was some really evil things that were perpetrated on the natives. We have this, we have a history and a pattern developing of perpetrating bad things to the native peoples of different lands, stealing their land, and then taking it over and making it our own. So if you want to say that that's ridiculous because we've made so much progress, I mean, I invite you to educate me as far as what real progress we've made. We're still extremely evil to each other. We're still extremely divided. We're not trying to build each other up, trying to tear each other down. I mean, the country is literally split in half over just the presidential issue right now. And as you can see, you know, if you want to compare Trump and Biden, it's like, well, you know, Trump, you can have your opinion of him, but Biden is not really fully present and aware. And if he's able to do the job without, you know, any incident other than some, you know, guffaws that we laugh at and falling over on his bike and things like that, overall, things are still operating. The country's still operating. So it just goes to show that the system is a lot more than a president. And just replacing the president is not enough to affect real change. You had someone in who wanted to go in and drain the swamp. He found that he had to start working with Republicans because everybody was afraid of corruption being exposed. There's corruption on both sides of the aisle. Both sides are taking bribes. Both sides are getting rich somehow, even though they only make $175,000 in salary. So there's a lot of backdoor things that are going on. That person was able to do some things after they started kind of giving Republicans a pass and focusing on the other side. But the reality is that it falls to us. If we really want real systemic change, then it's up to us to vote incumbents out across the board. Anyone who is in the seat right now, we vote them out on the next go around. And I'm talking at the local level, your town governments, your city governments, your state governments. You're seeing Georgia, you're seeing state governments participate in a witch hunt. You're seeing state governments go after someone who has done the same thing that other politicians have done, including Hillary Clinton. No prosecution, but in this case, we're gonna go, you know, hard. And the funny thing is there was a transcript released discussing the classified information, and some of the stuff he took home were documents that exonerated him against the charges that were already thrown at him. So he decided he wanted to take those home. You can believe that, you cannot believe that. The transcript's on the internet. Look it up. Try to get some factual information. Use more than one source because you can't trust anybody, including myself, anymore. You know, the whole internet is fake news. I wouldn't expect you to trust me. I would expect you to look this up. If you're really curious, there's a leaked transcript. It's a video recording, audio recording, on which they discuss this whole thing. So we need to change. I mean, real change. If you want to get a president in there who wants to get the corruption out, we then need to help him. You've got 4 years after you elect a person that wants to get rid of the corruption. You have 4 years to make your votes, and that should be able to get rid of most other people because the midterms are halfway in between. So at the 2-year mark, we should be able to really wipe out a lot of these corrupt individuals that are tied into the money ecosystem. And as a part of this reform, we should also demand that money be divorced from politics. You should not need the donations of a billionaire in order to run and successfully get elected. This is part of the problem. If you need a billionaire to finance your campaign, who are you beholden to? We need to come up with a way that people can get elected to important offices without the support of huge financial backing, and the only way to level the playing field is to illegalize injection of funds over a certain amount from more than one donor or something like that. There's people that are way smarter than me. We can collectively figure this out, but the point is that money and entrenched politicians that have been there for more than two terms in any seat are the problem. Period. End of story. I don't care how great they are. The system is experiencing a problem because some people are good at being there long term, but a lot of people succumb to corruption and are beholden to the investors that got them elected and financed their lifestyle. This is just an article on the Daily Wire. I'm not sure, you know, a lot of people are probably not going to be looking this stuff up, so hopefully seeing it in the video exposes you to some things that you're not aware that the media is reporting. I mean, Chuck Schumer is literally saying this on MSNBC, and just saying no one cares, that we don't want to investigate that, and at the same time that they are really going after Trump for documents. So it's like, prosecuting everybody would be the most ignorant outcome. Weaponizing the legal system against both sides and escalating this fight is the worst outcome. We want to de-escalate, we want to unify, we want to agree on how we can move forward and get rid of these anti-American actors that are subverting our government, stealing our freedoms. And it goes beyond the government, because really, the top of the food chain is the corporations, because they're financing the whole operation. They're bankrolling these elected officials into office. They're spending tons of money wining and dining and lobbying. They're making donations to X, Y, and Z. I mean, all the money is, the government's not a for-profit thing. These big corporations are for profit, and they got tons of money to throw at things that benefit them financially. They only care about money. This is why they virtue signal, because they're evil, one-dimensional structures that only care about money. Any sort of extra dimensionality, like, ooh, we care about the environment, we care about this, that's all tied to money and financial performance. So if they say that they care about your group, they think that your group is going to financially reward them. If they care about the environment, they think that the environmental group is going to financially reward them. It's really not that hard to figure out. They're very disingenuous. It's super easy to spot liars. They are liars. Here's an example of the police needlessly arresting someone for legally videotaping at a public event in what looks to be a public space. This is not a private party. This is something in a public space. If I was there, I would want to film, you know, let's say there's a band, I would want to film it. Let's say there is a play, maybe I want to film it. Whatever's going on is obviously a little bit controversial, and the police are taking the side of the people that are up on they're doing whatever and trying to block this event from being filmed. I'm not sure what's so secret, what's so controversial, but the reality is that this is wrongful arrest that's escalated then into resisting arrest. So you get wrongfully arrested, and then you start resisting your unconstitutional arrest, and then now you've got more charges, and this is how they get you. So most of the time these illegal arrests have no justification. They initiate the process and justify it along the way, and eventually, when you're not going along because you know your rights, you get tased and beaten and taken downtown, and then in a lot of cases convicted, because the DA is also on board with this whole agenda. It seems like leftist politics has captured the educational institutions, at least federal law enforcement, maybe more, which is crazy because you would think that it would be the exact opposite. And the judicial system, as you can see, is being weaponized against a certain party for specific things as well. So there's some really weird stuff going on. I think, you know, people are waiting for some sort of savior to come who's going to fix this. No one in the government is going to fix this. This is what the government wants. Again, it's up to us to speak with our wallets and speak with our votes, and organize and assemble and speak with our voices. Those are three things that we all can do. You can choose who you buy from. You can choose who you elect, and get rid of the people that are in there. And we can also speak to each other for now. It's difficult on the internet for certain topics because these 6 tech companies that can control most of the communication infrastructure make it very difficult to talk about anything to do with elections, anything to do with medical things, and general misinformation, which is up to them to decide. So misinformation for one person is another person's information. It's just depending on what your worldview is, how you view the world. Some people believe lies are true, and other people believe that the truth is a lie. Some people believe that the truth is a truth. So you have a lot of different, you know, you have people that are in reality and you have people that are not, and to each their own. But for another higher power to be deciding what information you have access to makes it very difficult for us to engage in a genuine way, makes it very difficult for us to understand each other and the different perspectives that we have, because we're only being told a very small portion of the story, and we're not being allowed to engage in any sort of back and forth in a civil manner, like debate. Debate is the best way to get rid of bad ideas. You get rid of bad information by having someone logically debate against them, and it becomes very clear which are bad ideas and which are good ideas, because you support it with your presentation of evidence and facts, and people usually make their own choices based on the actual evidence that's presented.
You can record back here, just let him be, okay? But if you
I'm not touching him.
I know, but don't even go near him. Just stay back here, and you can record. But
All right.
don't need to go by him. Yeah, just stay back here where everyone else is.
Okay.
And there's no rules, right? It's not posted or anything, like what distance you can record from. So he is just...
I'm just taking a video.
Okay.
This officer is making an unlawful command. There's no law to support his command. And he is then going to arrest this gentleman for violating what he says to do, which is unlawful. That's why it's an unlawful arrest. If he could cite a statute or a law that says, oh, well, you know, the reason I was saying that you need to film from 50 feet away so that you can't see anything and stay away from everybody else is because this statute such and such. But he doesn't do that because it doesn't exist. And then he claims disorderly conduct and then resisting arrest. It's crazy.
I'm not sure if any of you guys knew. I mean, you're all just sitting in the sun.
How you guys doing?
You can clearly see that exercise and working out is right-wing and Republican. That's not fake news. It is real. You know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's ridiculous. Going to the gym is right-wing." Well, self-improvement seems to be right-wing.
What did I do? What did I do? What did I do, officer? What law did I break? What law did I break?
He asked twice.
What law did I just break? They just came in my face.
He asked twice. That's the law he broke. And then now it's disorderly conduct, asking rational questions in an indoor voice, pretty much. I mean, maybe a little bit more than an indoor voice, but they are outdoors. And there's also no outdoor voice law. This is why people say F the police, you know? Pretty simple.
Walking this way. Are you guys joking me? You're gonna arrest me?
Four officers
Officer,
for a
you're
kid.
Stop. You guys are sick. I didn't
Stop
do anything.
resisting.
I didn't do anything. I have it all on camera. Give me your badge numbers. Hey, I'll walk. I'll walk. Just leave me alone. I'll walk.
Past that.
What did I do? I was walking.
You were asked to leave
I have
the
a
park.
video. I wasn't asked to leave the park
We
at
just
all.
asked you.
I wasn't asked. Yeah, now I was. So I'm walking.
All right.
I'm walking now. I'm walking now. I was warned once about a
I've
sign.
talked to you several times.
About a sign I was warned. You guys are lawless. You guys are unjust and immoral.
All the way up.
What? What did I do? I have a video.
If you
I
keep
was
resisting,
walking
you're
around.
going handcuffed. Come on.
I was walking around in the park. You guys are sick. You guys are twisted. I have a video. You guys can be prosecuted. Give me your badge numbers.
I already gave it to you.
I gave it to you.
Give me your badge number.
259.
259. What's your badge number?
2856, I've given
You
you.
guys will be prosecuted. I hope you guys are let go. You guys are gonna have to answer to God for this. I was walking in the
I look
park.
forward to it. Keep walking.
I was walking in the park.
They're just
and
such
they came
assholes.
In my face.
No
They
empathy
came
for
in
other
my
humans.
face, and what did you guys do? You guys escorted me out and are arresting me now. It was you guys. What law did I break? What law did I break? Just because you have a guilty conscience doesn't mean you should take it out against someone who is standing up against evil, because you're not. You guys are sick.
You want him on here? No, he wants him in here. Everybody else comes out. Yeah. Where do you want him?
Oh, buddy. This is the state of America, you know. We pay their salaries. And this is why, as much as I'm not, you know, a defund the police guy, I am a train them better. They're interacting with civilians and they don't understand the concept of de-escalation. They don't understand the concept of law. If they're going to enforce the law, they should at least understand the law. They should be forced to pass a test that clearly shows that they understand the constitutional rights of a human being born and citizen a citizen of the United States, what rights they have, because this is right. It's their playbook, trumping up BS as they go. They're like arresting you. They don't have justification. They'll figure it out along the way. And that's why you get detained for a little while and they start to search your pockets and they're looking for a reason. Or they just make it up and they're like, well, disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, whatever, resisting, you know. Let's just start throwing words around. Just like the internet. And then here's an article. We're not even going to click this. This is just an article that's saying, you know, this is coming around again. You know, this is just put out. It's absolutely.
Joe Biden, when I've been around him, and that's not every day, but when I've been around him, when I've seen him on the news, he's absolutely 100% with it. And he's got his recall, his cognitive ability, whatever you want to call it. I'm not a doc, I'm a dirt farmer, but he's fine, and he's doing a good job. I think folks are making a bigger deal out of it than it is. Joe Biden.
This guy must be seeing something different than the rest of us. This is Senator John Tester, Montana's only statewide Democrat. So if you live in Montana, get rid of him, because he has no clue what's going on. Can't have people running the country that don't know what's going on. That guy's clueless. In Philadelphia, I love how they put the banner over the, you know, the action, but yep, brilliant. 15 people jumping on your car. Really nice. Kicking the side. Mobs of roving feral teenagers attacking cars in the street. And then you're arresting a kid in a park filming stuff. Where are the cops? Oh, they're attending peaceful events where people are recording stuff and arresting them. How come they're not arresting people for vandalizing someone's expensive vehicle? Look at this person trying to turn and run because the mob is descending on them. And more people are running because they're trying to get away. They want to chase them down. This is recreational activity in 2023. I guess this is how children go outside and play now, is by vandalizing moving vehicles, jumping on them, kicking the doors. So definitely, I wonder why land outside cities has gotten so expensive. It's so baffling. Doesn't make any sense, does it? And then, oh, this is, so Vladimir Putin, look at what he's done to America. Just absolutely incredible. Wow. Putin, #1 producer and distributor of fentanyl in the U.S. Either that or there's a zombie epidemic. Is this Dawn of the Dead? I don't know. It's very, very strange. Just a regular street corner in Philadelphia. Oh, this is nice. This is really nice. You guys are going to love this. So a nice young Belgian boy. As you can see, this gentleman's older, larger. And then the best part is there's multiple. And they're going to make him kiss their feet. Yep, there he goes, down on his knees. I mean, at least he's got a sock on. That's nice. Look, oh, look at the other guys want their feet kissed as well. Now they're putting their shoes back on. Push his head down. And start punching him in the side of the head. That's good. Yeah. Wow. Just brilliant. So anyway, that's the fun stuff going on in the world today. just be aware, you know, just get your news. I know that not everybody's going to want to go on X. It's messy. People are allowed to communicate over here. Not everything's sanitized and perfect. You know, there are some real things in the world that go on that are disturbing that get censored and banned on the other platforms because advertisers don't want to show a video like that right before they play a video about some sort of thing that they're promoting. You know, they want you to be happy and feeling good. They don't want you to associate them with something negative like this, and that's why we have to censor so much content on other platforms. So there's a lot of information over here that is kind of just not being mentioned anywhere else. I would highly recommend you pay attention to it if you enjoy living in a free world where people get treated with equity and dignity. Like if that's your real goal is equity and not just suppression and oppression of a new group. Like it seems more like people don't want equality and equity. What they really want is to be the oppressor. They're angry that they've been oppressed, and instead of creating an equal system, they want to be on top and they want to subvert other people's success and opportunities so that they increase their own simply by marginalizing others while claiming enlightenment. It's all nonsense, and we have to push back. I mean, as an adult, you have to have boundaries. You have to be a grown-up. You can't let people step all over you. And if you do, then this is how it often winds up. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great afternoon or whatever time it is today that you're watching this, and I will see you again soon. Take care. I'm not suicidal. I would never kill myself.